Lost Art with Andrew Cox, retired Master Gunnery Sergeant. thelostart.podbean.com. Get some merchandise and help support the podcast in getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. Now on all major podcast platforms. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be a guest, tell your veteran story, discuss your veteran business or organization. Email The Lost Art with Andrew Cox at gmail.com. Andrew Cox, a Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. See the project story at tillvalhallaproject.com. Thanks for tuning in. Please enjoy the podcast that's giving a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast, that podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and today we're having a fireside chat with special guests from 22 Mohawks. But before we get into the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? Then be sure to go to our website and check it out. Don't forget there is that merchandise tab. You can click on that, get your hat, get your shirt, get your coffee cup, get you something cool to help support us and getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. Also, a big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project, allowing me to be an ambassador for that great organization. Thank you very much. And if you don't know anything about the Till Valhalla Project, please reach out, go to their website, tillvalhallaproject.com. Go check them out, see what they're all about. And if you can help them, please do so. All right. I got Mike here, and I also have Dave and Stacy from 22 Mohawks. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. I love that you gave Till Valhalla a shout out there. They're amazing. They've been great to us. Corey's a great guy, and they're an amazing company.
Yeah, great people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is a great company. I know Mike wears their shirts all the time. He's got a subscription to their shirts.
Nice.
So just about every podcast, I think he has one on. I need to up my game, I think, is what needs to happen there, but it's all good.
Well, got some fashion going on there.
Yeah. Well, hey, Stacy, Dave. So Dave, you're the founder of 22 Mohawks, and Stacy, you're the CEO. Am I getting that correct?
Accurate.
Okay, awesome. Well, kind of give us a little lowdown on what specifically is 22 Mohawks and what do you guys do?
Yeah. So, well, the name 22 Mohawks, we all know the offside of number 22 is number of veterans that die by suicide every day per the VA. The Mohawks is an action item. Have you guys heard of the Ice Bucket Challenge for ALS?
I have, yeah.
So when I was thinking of a name, I was trying to think of something that would create an action to bring awareness to veteran suicide. So a Mohawk, right? So anytime we think of the Mohawk, we think of veteran suicide. So when we initially started, I shaved a Mohawk into my head and said, hey, if you want to bring awareness to veteran suicide prevention, get a Mohawk. Hashtag 22 Mohawks, and I'll donate a larger sum of money to, or not large, but some money to Mission 22, another organization.
Okay.
So a bunch of locally, it went viral, right? Like we had a bunch of people who are friends, family, local natives got Mohawks, and I ended up donating some money to Mission 22. That was in 2020, and then the reason we started was I lost my good friend John Hatfield to suicide, who I was with for about 2 years in the 82nd Airborne Division. Him and I worked closely together. We were both getting ready to get medically discharged. And in 2016, I got out, didn't even shake John's hand, just kind of took off, left Fort Bragg and came home. And fast forward to that was 2016. So fast forward to 2020, scrolling social media, and I saw a shout out to John, basically giving him a memorial in honor and remember for his death. That he had died by suicide in 2017, and I had no idea. So I, obviously the guilt from that. He was an E4, I was an E6. So, as a leader, you want to check in on you guys, take care of you guys, but I didn't even shake the dude's hand goodbye. And the guilt, like, hey, why didn't he reach out to me? Those questions that I've now come to learn is just something that we as veterans don't do when we're, feeling lousy. But at the time I was shocked that he didn't reach out to me. So that's what kind of got 22 Mohawks started. And then the first thing we did was a tandem parachute jump. And after that, I kind of linked up with Stacy, if you want to dive in and say how we kind of got linked up.
So when he did the Mohawk challenge, I got a Mohawk, obviously. So I had short hair, and he blew the picture up. It's awful. It's on the wall in our office. But Dave and I went to junior high and high school together, so we used to sit together in homeroom, and we stayed friends throughout the years and through Facebook, social media. My father was a Coast Guard veteran, and he died by suicide in 2009. And I really just suicide and the veteran kind of community was never really a part of my life until I reconnected with Dave after getting a Mohawk. Had no idea what I was getting into, and I have a background in like running events and doing different things, and basically just teamed up with him, and we've been doing wild and crazy stuff since.
Yeah. So kind of talk to me a little bit about some of the things that you have going on in the program itself.
Yeah. So we offer three core services. We find and pair dogs with veterans and first responders. As you guys know, it takes years for a veteran to get a service dog if they go through the VA. I know they only have, I think they have
That is
two
true.
organizations that work for them, right? So if you want a really well-trained dog, you got to wait 2, 3 years. So when I was kind of trying to figure out what programs we would create, I'm like, well, not all vets need a service dog, and it takes so long. So how about a companion dog, a well-trained companion dog? So I created that piece where it was like, hey, we'll find a dog, we'll train that dog as a canine good citizen, which is, I believe, the first step in the service dog pipeline.
Okay.
So they'll get their canine good citizen certification, and then they can come to our weekly socialization training, right? So we get to get eyes on the veteran, see the veteran, and our trainers, they're trained in suicide prevention. So if the vet's in a bad way, they know that they can refer them out or they can see the signs. So not only are we rescuing a dog, but we're also creating that social connection with the trainers and other people in the program. So that's one. And then two, we offer our biannual parachuting retreat, where we fly up to 20 veterans to Denellen, Florida, in either October or February for a week to attend Army. It's basically Army Airborne School abbreviated into 1 week. And it's static line parachute trained, right? So day 1 and 2 are ground school. Day 3, 4, 5, 6 are actually jumps. Everyone gets 5 jumps. If you're a Marine or former Marine, some of those guys do 10 jumps. There's things that they can do there. Within that, we offer suicide prevention training, finance classes, yoga. The local vet center comes in, the Ocala Vet Center comes in. They're so gracious, and they give us, they talk about benefits, they talk about mental health stuff. So we have a couple partnerships down there.
Very nice.
A lottery for that, right? So you can just register, and we open up a lottery. I think we just opened it up because we ended our last one 2 weeks ago, and we already have like 30 or 40 people already registered. So it fills up pretty quick.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
Yeah. It gets last year, I think we had over 120 people, or last event, we had over 120 people register for it.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it gets pretty intense with the amount of people that we have. But our third core service is we offer group and one-on-one mental health services. We have a doctor of mental health on staff, so she offers coaching. So if somebody's, if there's a critical incident, we're not a crisis organization, but if people call us all the time because it's Dave and Stacy, and we give dogs and we parachute, and people think we're cool or something, right? So
yeah,
we'll just call them, and they won't judge me, and it's true, we won't. But we have to determine, like, I'm sure you guys have probably got calls where it's like, hey, I'm broing it up with my vet friend. He's in a bad way. It's going to be all right. Let's go get coffee or chit chat or whatever. It's fine. But we've trained ourselves in the team to determine whether or not that person needs clinical help or to see a clinician.
Right.
And if we've determined that, we'll dial in Dr. Kofori. She'll get on the line and kind of go through those steps of determining if they need even further suicide prevention strategies, which we have. I mean, we've had, over 7 people call us and actually would have to, call in an ambulance or someone to go help them out.
Oh, wow.
And within that arm of the organization, we train 20 people per year to be QPR suicide prevention instructors.
Oh, wow.
Critical incident stress management training, and we've just added assist. So that's peer-to-peer support. And that they'll be on our suicide prevention team. They're required to teach 2 suicide prevention courses per year in their community. And it's fairly easy to do here in Massachusetts, because if anyone requests suicide prevention training in this state, I literally get an email, and this person needs suicide prevention training, and then we just determine where that person's located, and we send someone on our team who's located in that area to go teach it. So
very nice.
Yeah, those are the 3 things that we do. I know it was kind of long-winded, but yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's great. So if I'm a veteran, right, I'm out there and I'm struggling, whatever the case may be, I can reach out directly to your organization, and you'll be able to point me wherever it is I need to go at that point, or have a conversation, whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, man, that's pretty cool. So I know the parachute thing, how did that come about? Is that because you're 82nd Airborne, or like where did that come from?
No, so like when I was trying to figure out my business model, I was like, well, what do vets need, right? Well, vets need companionship, so that's the dog, right? It's like you have a dog, you have purpose, you take your dog out, you feed your dog. But I was like, what else do we need? And it's like, well, we all like to kick indoors and do crazy stuff, right? Take major risks. So locally, there's like not static, tandem parachuting courses. So
Hmm.
I'm like, why don't I do a lottery and now bring 10 vets to do tandem parachuting? So the first
Yeah.
event that we ever did was a tandem parachute, brought the 10 vets, brought their families. We jumped. None of them were airborne. And then we had dinner, and it was just a great event. Like some vets got up and spoke. People were crying, hugging. It was awesome. We told war stories. It was such a good event. So I'm like, well, hey, I'm going to create a website and do this every year. Well, a friend of mine who's a police officer locally saw that we were doing that. And he's like, oh, I got to connect you with my buddy Iman. He's pretty big into the network. So I connected with Iman. Iman and I were, close for, a month or so. And then he connected us with somebody who runs a static line school, X-35 Airborne School, because one of his buddy jumped static line. And I was like, well, this is great. So they actually funded us to go down and jump. And we took 10 people.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this a part of our programs. And now it's just turned into twice a year we go down there. But I honestly didn't even know static line civilian airborne courses existed until I
Yeah.
am at X-35. And it essentially changed everything we do, because that course gave us visibility across the United States, because we have people
Hmm.
all over the country that, apply to the program and get accepted.
Hmm.
Which has also gone and grown our Pups for Vets program, because some of the guys who come and jump like run VFWs or run vet centers, and they're like, I'm going to implement this in my organization. And then we just help with the funding for that. We've done dogs in 17 states, and that's literally a testament to the airborne school. So it's
Yeah. Wow.
all encompassing, right? And it's like, we call it the 22 Mohawks family. I mean, it's essentially Stacy and I that run the back office business, and just watching it grow and the people that want to come in and be a part of it is pretty cool, because we don't give that like corporate feel. At least, I don't know, maybe you guys can judge us. Maybe we do. We're not trying to do that,
No, I think you're all right. I'm not seeing 100% corporate there. You
Well,
guys seem pretty
you don't give that vibe
relaxed,
off at
laid
all. You
back.
give that vibe that you guys actually care, and that's amazing.
Appreciate that, Mike. Thank you.
One of the things that I've noticed is, doing these podcasts with veterans, having them tell stories, doing all these types of things. A lot of times they just need to talk. And I've had so many veterans, like after we've done it or whatever, and they're just like, "Oh man, I feel so much better just being able to talk about my experiences, be able to do these things, and just being with another veteran that can understand." And in the civilian sector, a lot of times you don't have that veteran friend to be able to confide in anymore. And for whatever reason, like you were mentioning before, it is kind of difficult to. Did I just go sideways?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Sorry. It's very difficult for veterans to reach out for help, and that's something that I have a hard time with. But somehow we got to overcome that, right?
Well, we're here for you, AJ. Now you can call me.
Very nice. I like it.
No, but
I
I
like
think
it.
that's part of our nonprofit's really small. It's really just Dave, myself. We have Kylie, she's our K9 director. We have Dr. Kafori, and then we have some other people that help out with some odds and ends, but we do extraordinary things. And I think a true testament to that is that we do care, like you said, and people can feel that right away. Obviously, I'm a civilian. It's an inside joke around here. It's like I identify as a hugger, and people come in and I'm like, hey, and people are like, and then you just kind of get used to it, right? But I think that opens it up. And like you said, talking, right? As soon as one person shares one story, another person shares their story, and then we all know we're all fucked up, and we can share our stories. We're here for each other. You're in a bad place, you can call us, and I think and it's just, like Dave said, the 22 Mohawks family is really what we strive to embed and give to other people. And we just had our 5th airborne operations course and retreat, and we're in a room full of it was mainly men, and just
mostly Marines, Army guys, foreign Rangers. It was a room full of
Okay.
and by the end of everything that was going on, I mean, everybody was standing up, crying, people talking about things they've never said. And it became like this huge therapy session, where everybody,
Yeah.
people like, I was on the ledge before I came here, people just, it's just.
Yeah, it's, you think about like jumping out of an aircraft, right? I don't know if you guys are
Mhm.
off of it. You stand on that door, like you jump alone, so you're facing. It takes courage to do it. It doesn't matter how many times you do it. Like every time you jump out of an airplane, it's like, oh my God, this is wild.
Yeah, it's not natural.
It is. It's completely
Yeah.
unnatural. You're right. You're so right. And when you've been out of service for so long, and you're like going through the civilian motions of just living this chaos stuff, and you come down, you're with fellow vets from all over the world, and you jump together, you hit the ground, and you're like, shit, I'm back. I'm
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And everyone starts sharing stories. It's like day one and day two, it's ground school, it's boring. We teach suicide prevention. And everyone's like, oh, this is cool. Day three, when everyone gets out of that aircraft, everything changes. People are running,
Yeah.
taking group selfies. People who didn't know the other person existed 2 days ago are literally now best friends. And it's like they've
Yeah.
known each other forever. And it
Now
just
I have lifelong friends. Yep.
lifelong friends.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. It's
100%.
amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Stacy, you said you didn't come from a military background, but I mean, it takes a special person to be around weirdos. That's what that's really what we are is weirdos, and that's why people don't get us.
Yeah.
It's a completely different sense of humor, as far as, my wife always jokes because we've been married 28 years, been together 33. And my kids share my sense of humor. Andrew knows both of my kids from when they were younger, but they'll say stuff now. My son's 27, our daughter's 23, and they'll say something in a joking way or just say something. My wife's like, "Yeah, those are your damn kids." It takes special people to be around veterans, and it's amazing. We're odd, we're strange, but at the end of the day, we do care. But
Mhm.
we're not sharing people in the sense that I'm going to run to you and tell you what's wrong with me, But like you're saying, by day three, all of a sudden you found this bond, and it's an amazing thing.
It really is.
So with the once they find this bond, right? I'm assuming that that bond continues. Do you have like ongoing events, anything like that they actually come back for?
So the airborne retreat is twice a year, and Dave set that up strategically because within 6 months you can come back again and be a strap hanger. So you don't have to take the whole course. You basically, if you just do what, the last 3 days of the.
Yeah, you come the last 3 days and you can jump 3 times. So we have guys who have been to, the other 4 classes. A bunch of them showed up to this last jump, and they get to jump once, twice, 3 times, whatever they want to do. And reconnect again with the new group,
Right.
with friends who have jumped before. That's almost like a reunion,
Yeah.
like the long-term vision is like, hey, in 10 years, we'll bring everyone who's ever jumped to do like 2 weeks down there and just hang out and bring their families and get a couple jumps in.
But I think that 6 month time frame too, it's 4 to 6 months usually, but it gives you something to look forward to. These guys know, hey, I can go back down there, right?
Yeah.
But we are up in Sharon, Massachusetts, so we have an office space right next to Gillette Stadium, and we offer a ton of different programs, events, things here at our office. We actually have a Veterans Speak event this Sunday at an Italian American club down the street from here, where we're going to have 10 veterans share 10 minutes of their story. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Sebastian Younger.
Say that again.
Sebastian Younger. He's a reporter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're mimicking his Sebastian Younger's town hall meeting where it's on Veterans Day. He said that all veterans should be able to share their story for 10 minutes and say whatever they want. It's an event that he created years ago. So we're mimicking that model. So we have a bunch of vets coming in to kind of tell their story. But before, we had 6 weeks of a writing class to teach them how to write and tell their story. And now it's gonna be really cool. They're gonna get up and tell their story to their families and friends and the whole audience.
Wow.
I think it's gonna be pretty impactful. We'll report back and let you know if it went crazy, but that's really cool.
I think it'll be fantastic. That's one thing that you mentioned, the friends and family being able to hear the story. And that's another thing that, veterans with their their closest family, and they don't really share all their experiences. Whether that, I don't know why. I still don't know why I do it, but But I can get on here like with Mike. I've known him for quite a while, so I can get on here with him and we can talk about all kinds of stuff. I've had veterans come on, tell their stories, and their families come to them later and it's like, I had no idea that this happened. Like you've never talked about it. So it's pretty impactful just being able to talk about it.
Yeah, no, it is. And it's hard, like you said, for so many of us to talk about it,
Yeah. So and you said the other two services, you had three total, right? What were the other two services again?
It's Pups for Vets and First Responders, which is the
Mhm.
companion dogs. And then the 22 Mohawks Airborne Operations Course and Retreat. And then
Mhm.
SITREP 22, which is the mental health division, which
Got
is
it.
we have Dr. Kapori. She'll do coaching, and then we also do the suicide prevention training.
Very nice. With the dogs specifically, how many dogs have you been able to get out?
I want to say it's 156 or 8. I have to look at my thing.
Wow.
Which is really amazing. And Dave tells the story like, oh, he got the website and he's like, all right, he loves his dog, who he has to run home to after this. And he's usually holding his dog and has him in his arms. He's an 8-pound mini pin, but he loves him so much. And he was like, not everybody needs a service dog. Because it can be a 2-year wait, right? So it's like,
Oh, yeah.
why don't we do companion dogs and we'll be able to get them quicker and provide training, right? And so he literally went to the shelter and got 2 dogs. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, somebody's gonna call when we put the website up. And the 2 crazy dogs running around the house. And then sure enough, as soon as he posted the website, literally we posted it up, and a gentleman, Mike McGee, he's down Cape Cod, he had called us and he was in a rough place. And he was like, I'm not gonna make the winter. I've been on a waiting list. I was trying to go through this other place to get a service dog. It's just not happening. And we were able to drive him down a dog because we had him on hand the next day.
Yeah.
Mike is actually now our director of Cape Cod. So he runs events for us down there. He actually has 2 dogs now. 3. He just got another one. He has a whole room and it's like a cage.
Yeah.
He's a wild man, right? But his dog, the dog saved his life literally. And then this gave him purpose. He was involved in some clubs and different things anyway, but it was really having that deeper sense of purpose and something that relied on him that he had to take care of,
Right. Man, that's impactful. I really like that.
Yeah, that's actually the shirt I have on tonight with Till Valhalla.
I saw that. Yeah.
So
but the back of it says, when I needed a hand, I got a paw.
Oh yeah, that's a great shirt. That's
yeah.
a great shirt.
Yeah. And I can actually speak to that. That when I needed a hand, I just needed somebody who wasn't going to judge me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I did just read that female dogs judge you more than male dogs.
Well, that's why
holds water.
Maybe that's why my dog looks at me sometimes and she side eyes me like. It's like, okay.
He knows what's going on.
That's awesome.
I was Till Valhalla. Corey he sponsored one of our dogs, and he actually made a shirt and put our logo on it, and then it said,
"Oh, that's awesome."
On the back,
save I forget
what it said, but it was a shepherd dog on the back, and there was like a logo and
it was pretty awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah, really
very nice. Yeah. I'm digging that. And now, do you work with other organizations like Till Valhalla? Are there others that you work with?
Not to that scale, no. No, we got actually when we were going down to our first parachuting jump, Operation Airborne for Vets, we stopped in there and he gave us a tour of his whole organization, his whole operation. And then we just became like buddies with him and talked to him here and there. He's actually going to be coming up for our event in February to come to where the Boston Bruins play. And we're trying to do a plaque. We're going to try to have him actually hand over a plaque to one of our vets that died by suicide last month. In Massachusetts, it's been a tough year with vets dying by suicide. I don't know if you've seen it where you're at, but Massachusetts has been really, really rough.
No kidding.
Yeah. So we're going to see if Corey will actually hand over a plaque to this gentleman's family, this former Marine's family. But yeah, Corey's a great guy. He gives back a lot.
Yeah. Now, is there a trend that you have found when it comes to veteran suicides? Is there anything that you've seen?
Like this time of year gets weird. We had literally 2 local veterans die by suicide in the past 2 months. And come December, January, February, it escalates. Like these months are like, I don't know if it's like the holidays or if it's the winter or what, but yeah, that's like the number one trend that I can just see without looking at data.
Yeah.
Get so much more. Do you guys see it where you guys are at?
Yeah, definitely. I would say wintertime, closer to the holidays, are things that I've seen. And then also the further north you go from people I talk to, when the winter is uh, much longer, the depression rate goes skyrockets. So, like in Alaska, for example, that's pretty high depression rates up there during the wintertime.
It's dark all the time, right? Like dark all year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's Mike's dog right there.
Oh man.
Dave's jealous his pup isn't with
I
him right
know,
now.
my
I
pup's
can feel his energy. Oh, she's adorable.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, if I pull the chair over, she's got to sit on it, and she sits right beside me.
I saw the cat trying to get in there too.
Oh yeah, she's trying to get in there, but yeah, she's not a service dog, but she does more than what we give her credit for. So I mean, my mother, Andrew knows this. My mother passed away Monday night.
Oh man.
And we're dealing with a lot of things, and we went up to the nursing home. We had to do with those arrangements, and got back home, and I'm at peace with it. But this dog has just been glued to me nonstop. It's amazing to think how their connection is and what they do for us.
So
For sure.
They're all service dogs in their own way, I feel like,
They are, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
How bad
I'd
your
agree
day
with that.
is. You go home and your dog's doing, come here, pet me.
That's why I like dogs more than cats. And don't get me wrong, cats are nice too, but you could be gone for 5 minutes and walk back in the door. That dog is excited to see you.
Oh yeah.
But a cat
Giving
could care
you
less.
feedback.
It's just
Cat's
like
like,
whatever.
get out of here.
Yeah, cat's like you're still alive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's funny.
Funny.
Well, hey, is there anything else that you kind of want to bring up about the organization or anything that you got going on? I know you said you had a couple of events coming up.
Yeah, I do want to share a quick story if I could.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, like when people ask like about veteran suicide, like people who don't know, I tell this story, and I've told it a few times, and I think it's a good way to kind of look at the situation that the veteran community is in. But if you'll enlighten me for a second, let's pretend that all your dreams have come true and you've been drafted by the NFL, right? You've always wanted to play in the NFL. You're drafted. You're playing for your favorite team, which we all know is the New England Patriots, right?
Oh, whoa. Well, okay. All right.
Visualize your favorite team.
They lost it there.
Yeah.
All right, I got to go, Andrew. It's not the Steelers. I don't know who we're talking about here.
Oh,
Steelers it
geez.
is. Steelers it is. So you get drafted in the league. You're playing in the league. You play for 5, 6, 7 years. And in the locker room, you're closer with the dudes in the locker room than you are with people who are actually blood relatives. You know everything about those people. You know who their wives are. You know their blood type. You know what their favorite food is. You know everything about these guys. And you've suffered massive hardships with them. You've lost big games. You've won excellent games. You play in the league. You know tons of players across the league. And then one day you decide, hey, listen, it's time for me to hang my cleats up, and my career's done. I'm done playing ball. So you get out. Year goes by. It's kind of quiet. You miss the game a little bit, and you hear about somebody on another team that dies by suicide, and you're like, whoa. I think I may have played against that guy in the playoffs back in 2015. Didn't really know the guy, but that really sucks for him and the family. And I wonder what happened. A little bit of time goes by, and you start hearing about more people across the league dying by suicide. You're like, man, what the hell is going on in the league? Like, this is really weird. And then all of a sudden, your quarterback dies by suicide. Your coach dies by suicide. Your place kicker dies by suicide. And you're like, what the fuck is going on in the league? Why are all these guys dying by suicide? Right? And if you can contextualize that, if there was a suicide problem in the NFL, every university across the United States would be doing a case study on it, getting money, and trying to fix the problem. But
very true.
And this is what's happening in the veteran community, as you guys all know, right? Like suicide is literally, everybody knows someone who died by suicide. It could have been your sniper or your Mortimer or somebody. Like, we all know. And the universities to us is the government, right? It's like the mental health world right now is the best it's ever been. There's so much money in it. We have the best doctors, the best technology, the best education, but the suicide rate continues to go up. And no matter what we do in the mental health world, so something's not right there. So it's people like us that need to step up over the government and just be there for our people, whether it takes time, money, whatever it takes, because no universities are going to do case studies on this, and the government's clearly not doing something right, and they have millions of dollars, billions of dollars to help, and something is wrong with our vets, our military, and why we're all dying by suicide. And I just feel like we're on our own, and it's, connections across the US like we're doing right now, that we stick together and we try to figure out a way where we can end it or do whatever we can. So we're not dealing with or having to listen to one of our friends' moms calling us and say that Jimmy died by suicide,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm just like really passionate about that because I've lost 9 friends to suicide and 4 of them were in my platoon.
Wow.
What the people, when this first started, a year after it started, a good friend of mine called me. He's like, wow, he's like, what you're doing with 22 Mohawks is great. Like, good job. I can't believe so many people are dying by suicide. Like my platoon leader died by suicide like 2 weeks before. We were blown away. Fast forward 2 weeks after that conversation, and this dude shot himself in his car. And we were just talking about it. And I'm like, I don't get it. What do we do? We got to stick together.
It's just this unbelievable stigma. We've been trained that you can't be weak. You can't be, and I don't even say it. It's a male thing. It's a female thing. It's a veteran thing. I mean, and Andrew knows my story well. And, we talked a little bit out when he interviewed me, but, we served in 04 in Iraq, but the further along you get, it's like, okay, I can't be weak. I'm not allowed to be weak. I can't be weak. I can't show this vulnerability. Okay, I'll drink myself some more. That'll numb it. Let me do this. And it ultimately cost me my career. And, and it's hard, but you can't, and I went numb. I was angry. I was mad. I was sad for years. And, it was really, Andrew's been somebody that's been there for years. We talk, text, stuff like that. But it was doing this podcast with him that actually, he interviewed me and asked me to join the fireside chats and that. And it wasn't till then that I was like, I literally, and there's things that we talked about that he didn't have in the podcast because we were talking, but it's like, the hurt and the pain. It's like, why can't I? And there's even things that even in the podcast that even my wife and kids have watched it and they're like, you've never talked about that.
Yeah.
Why not? My wife's a nurse and she said, I wished I would have seen, I'm trained to see these. I should have seen these, I should have known this. I should have known that. Why didn't you talk to me about that? And I was like, first of all, I don't want you to have to experience that. And second of all, it's my cross to carry, burden to carry at that point.
Yeah.
But it's like, why? Why are we so damn stubborn as a community that we just will not open up and just talk or just be willing to cry? Just listen to me,
Yeah.
And we don't want judged. And it's even in law enforcement, who's going to go and say, and I literally had people telling me that, when I was tail end of my career, when everything was going bad, they're like, if you would have just come and said something. I said, yeah, that was a career ender. If I'd have come and said something to you, it was over. It was done. What was I going to, and at that point, in the early parts of, Iraq and Afghanistan, you would hear all PTSD. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fake. That doesn't happen. Well, I'm here to tell you it is. It's real. And it affects everybody differently. I don't care what you did and how you take the environment you were in or how you accept death or, we're all trained to be this particular way. But I'm here to tell you that, if you are not willing to be open and you've got to talk, you've got to communicate, it will end you at that point.
So true.
Yeah, for sure. And I always try to tell everybody, like, especially when I was active duty, I would tell everybody like, pain shared is pain divided, laughter shared is laughter multiplied. And it's almost like if I share something with somebody, half the load or half of that burden is released. I don't have to hold on to it. It's on somebody else as well. It may not solve the problem, but talking about it does relieve some of that stress.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the opposite, laughing is always a good thing. So
I love that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great, AJ.
I wish I would say I was the one that came up with it, but I don't think I am. I think I heard it somewhere.
Credit's yours tonight, that's for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, but again,
Oh,
it's
man.
stuff like your podcast, getting people on there sharing their stories. We have a guy that's speaking at our Veteran Speak event, and he came in here, man, and I just understand him on such a deeper level after listening to he went over like 12 minutes of his story, right? And we see this, and I think for me personally, like, I love hearing people's stories, the really fucked up ones, and then the really sad ones, the really great ones. Like, I love that, right? And some people and other civilians are like, well, I don't want to ask about it. I'm like, oh, have you ever asked him? Right? Maybe he doesn't want to share. If you ask and they don't want to share, all right, no worries. Like, right. But if they may want to, and nobody's asked them, right? And we've had guys come in and be like, nobody's ever asked me. So I've never opened up. I know my daughter, she's 13. She loves hearing Dave's stories that are PG.
Yeah.
That
I don't tell her about the baby hots that I ate,
But I just think, getting those stories out there, there's a story behind that one. Yeah, what you guys do is great too. These podcasts, they're so valuable to so many people, and when that guy that just is like, oh, somebody sent it and I was like, oh, yeah, he's like, who is this? I'm like, I don't even know. I just said we could go on, but that person who's kind of just looking and wants to share their story, now they have a platform that they can do it because you've offered this service. So it's great.
Huge.
Yeah. And there's a couple other podcasters out there doing the same type of thing. Tracer Burnout is one of them, couple Army vets there. So Dave, you might feel more at home with them, but they're down in North Carolina doing their podcast.
And they definitely have our sense of humor. I'm
do.
getting that vibe from you and Dave, you and Stacy, that I try to be politically correct because my wife tells me sometimes, she goes, you need to stop, like, fuck doesn't have to be an adjective on anything, or, but, they're pretty well. He was what, a colonel?
Lieutenant Colonel, I think.
Lieutenant
Colonel, I think.
And he couldn't really, you had him on and he couldn't really say it. He was like, well, until I'm really, all of a sudden he was retired. He was letting it out, and it's like,
Once he crossed the threshold of officially retired, he was able to say more.
Yeah, I always worried about offending people, but then just talking with you guys now, I'm like, okay, I'm home.
Yeah, be honest, fuck is an extremely versatile word.
It is.
So many things.
You can use it for anything.
Yeah, it offends people, but a lot of times when we use it, it's not meant in a negative way. It's just who we are. It's a culture. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. But
yeah.
Sometimes even my 22-year-old daughter, she'll be saying something and she'll be like, fuck, I'm like, Abigail, stop. Yeah. She goes, do you know who my dad is? I'm like, yeah, I'm well aware of who your dad is. So
I learned it from you.
Oh, that's funny. I was just thinking this, talking about the government and them kind of putting more behind veteran suicide. We have, for the first time in a long time, at least, somebody that's in that office up there, or that will be, A.D. Vance, former Marine. We need to be able to reach out to him and be like, hey, you got to do something.
Absolutely.
I mean, the number 2 guy in the country. I mean, come on.
I know.
We should be able to get something out of that, right?
Definitely. I agree. Yeah. And he seems like he's pretty active. So I think he'll be more inclined to help us out. That's for sure.
And I feel like so many of us, like smaller nonprofits, that we're boots on the ground every day. These larger organizations, there's so many of them that are so good. Like Home Base, amazing organization. And we get a lot of people that come to us, and they, some of these bigger organizations they go to, and they don't feel that family aspect that I really care about, right? Even though because there's some people that's just their job, because now you've got more of a corporate-y, or like, even though they're still doing amazing, great work, to certain people, it always doesn't resonate. But I think there's so many, we try to connect with as many other nonprofits doing the work that we're doing as we can, so that we can share these resources. Like, I just was able to get a veteran firefighter down to our local place. He was in a bad place. He went behind on some bills, has a family, great guy, just needs some help, right? We don't provide like cash programs, right? But we have connections with guys they're taking care of them. They've got them covered for the next couple months, so it's great to be able to connect with all these other smaller nonprofits that do different things, and really be able to collaborate so we can bring it all together.
Very nice. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm going to try and reach out to JD Vance. I have no way of actually doing that other than just the normal Yahoo that wants to reach out to him. But what I'll do is I'll reach out to him and see if we can get him on here. And if he does come on here, Stacy, Dave, I'd like you guys to come on, and we can pitch all kinds of stuff to him. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's an amazing idea. Yep.
All right. Well, now I've got my work cut out for me. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but
well, that's just it.
I believe in you, AJ. I believe in you.
I'm glad somebody does.
Well, like you guys are saying, we can't depend on the government. It's got to be us.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to. So
yeah, very true. Very true.
I believe in you, Andrew. I believe in you.
That's not what you said yesterday, but okay. I'm just kidding.
Wait, where did AJ? Huh? Did you write AJ? You said AJ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go by AJ or Andrew?
I'll go by anything. Okay. AJ's fine. Andrew.
Then I was like, wait a minute.
Dipshit.
No, you have to understand. To me, he was Sergeant Cox, and then he was dumbass, and then it was, stuff like that.
See, having a leader like Mike, I'm used to being called anything, so it is not going to offend me whatsoever. But yeah, your choice. Anything you want.
All right, cool.
Amazing.
I'll come up with a name.
Uh-oh. Well, hey, Dave, Stacy, thanks guys for coming on. Incredible organization, 22 Mohawks. What is the website? Do you have the website link?
Yep, it's 22mohawks.com, 22 Mohawks with an S.com. And then we are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all 22 Mohawks. We have a 22 Mohawks family group. It's a private group you just asked to join on Facebook as well.
Yep. Very cool.
I didn't get to look at your whole website yet. Andrew sent it to me, but you guys have apparel? I see your hoodies.
Yeah, well, we'll send you guys shirts anyways.
Yeah,
No, you don't know. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, you're good. You don't have to send us shirts. We can buy something. We're good.
I'm more than happy to support.
I'm going to send you some shirts.
I'm more than happy
you
to
don't
support.
have to do anything.
Appreciate it, guys.
I like that. Oh, man. Well, hey, I do appreciate you guys coming on. What you guys doing is incredible, and it is very, very important. And I think we just need to spread the word as much as we possibly can. So thanks for coming on, Stacy. Thanks for reaching out and just taking a chance on some random Marine out there to, it worked out. So I appreciate it. And hopefully I got back to you quick enough and those types of things. So, but you're here, so it worked out. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Hey, did you have something else, Dave?
Nope. I was just saying good job to Stacy.
Good work on my networking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think you should get a raise, Stacy. I'm just saying.
I got to get going, guys. But
all right. Hey, to all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, you need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA does have some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on the chat icon. Any of those options are going to put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life loss is one too many. I care about you. Mike cares about you. Dave and Stacy care about you. The whole veteran community cares. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, then make sure you call out to your buddies, ask them how they're doing. And if they need a helping hand, please reach out and give them that helping hand. All right. One last time, Dave, Stacy, you guys rock. Mike, again, thank you for coming on. To all the listeners out there, stay motivated.